Welcome into Rattler Up with Coach Walsh, live from San Marcos High School and the Rattler Broadcast Studios. We have an S on that now, Coach. This is the place you got to watch every week to keep track of all things Rattler Nation. I'm your host, CJ Odam, and with me, as always, San Marcos Athletic Director and Head Football Coach John Walsh. Coach, Season 4 of Rattler Up. You think we'd make it this far?
I did not, but it seems like it's been forever since we did it last time.
Right, it is great to get back in, and like we said, back in these studios. As you know, the storied history of our Rattler Up program started at Hayes Barbecue. It was an idea that you brought with you from Denton Geyer, and we were able to turn that into getting into the broadcast studio last season, and we are now coming to you from our podcast studio. So in addition to the CTE Digital Communications program, these kids have really, and as you're going to see, the set is going to just grow. We know pieces are coming in. We've got stuff shipped here, so it'll be fun to watch Rattler Up every week and watch the set grow and see what the kids can do.
Yeah, I've loved when we started downtown, and then when we brought it to the school with the kids was even better. But I'm not going to lie, I'm glad we're out of that studio and those lights, because by the time we got with that, I had a sunburn.
Yeah, the hot lights of that broadcast studio were hard. Well, Coach, we got a great week to start here on Rattler Up Season 4. We're going to check in, of course, on the sports that are in season. We'll look ahead to the upcoming football season and, of course, this coming Friday night's game against the Hutto Hippos. And we'll be joined live in studio by San Marcos High School Principal, Dr. Twila Guajardo. So good show to get us started, right?
It's going to be a good start.
All right, well, Coach, we have our official own channel now. So as you know, we're coming to you live on YouTube, but specifically on the Rattler Up network. And so we're so excited that we would be able to not only take a show, Rattler Up, but now we've turned it into its own network. And all the archived baseball broadcasts are there from last season. So we were excited to live broadcast those baseball games. Kids were making graphics, running cameras. Take us back when we first talked about that, to the finished product, just from the athletic side, what you thought of being able to bring those baseball games out on the Rattler Up network now.
Yeah, you know, me and you talked several times throughout the spring, and just what it did for not just our community, but our community that the relatives that live outside our community. You know, I got so many emails from grandparents that live in Illinois that got to watch the baseball game, and then and when you brought Maddox on, you know, a Miller 8th grader to be color commentary, just, you know, what I've loved about this broadcast and where it's growing is the people behind the scenes. It's not just adults anymore. It's our CTE kids. And as of today, you know, you talked about the broadcast of the baseball games. Mary Lee Olson, one of our officers for our Diamond Line, she's going to do some sideline interviews for us. And we practiced today in front of the football team, and she was dynamic. Now, she's a performer, you know, with the dance team, but man, she sounded like a professional sideline reporter. So I'm excited about just what we're doing tonight with the kids, and then it ventures off into the baseball games and football games. It's really a San Marcos High School event, not just an athletic event.
Right, because those Friday Night Lights, a lot of that is, again, those kids are broadcasting. If you see the cool stuff on the Jumbotron, the commercial packages, a lot of the replays and things, it's all student-driven. Right. And you see them down on the sidelines running those cameras. We talked baseball, but the expansion this year, we're going to be looking at doing concerts and fine arts events and award ceremonies. And so we always want you here at San Marcos High School. We want you here live at Rattler Nation anytime to see our kids perform and see our kids do the things they do. But obviously, if you can't make it or you want to go back and watch it later, I think the Rattler Up Network is going to be a great way to make that happen. So really excited about that. Well, all right, well, we're going to get started with our first guest of the new year. And so we want to welcome in our guest at this time, the San Marcos High School principal, Dr. Twila Guajardo. So, Dr. Guajardo, you are our first guest in Season 4. Welcome, and thank you for being on Rattler Up with us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you know, we didn't get a chance to do this with you your first year. And so for a lot of people that maybe haven't had a chance to sit and visit with you and talk with you yet, tell us a little bit about your background and just kind of how you got here to San Marcos as you go into your second year now with us.
Yes. Well, I am from a small town originally, a little bit smaller than San Marcos, from Jourdanton. I lived my whole life there, and my husband and I have been married for 26 years now, and we've been around to several states and stuff, but we finally settled in Texas. And after our kids graduated from Pleasanton High School, we became empty nesters, and we own a home in New Braunfels. And I had seen the position posted here at San Marcos a couple of times. And what I know of San Marcos, it's a beautiful city, very close community, and so it has a lot to offer, but it still feels like a small town. Absolutely. So it felt familiar to me. So last year was my first year, and I'm super excited to continue the second year.
Well, we're certainly excited to have you. Obviously, we've talked several times in the last year. Thank God she's here. Thank God. Every time we open the conversation with, thank God she's here. So we mean that. We've talked before. It really is. It's the biggest small town in Texas. We're still that one high school town, but that really puts some. And you see it in Rattler Nation athletics, especially that community feel, right? That we're all coming together. We're all coming. It's not just moms and dads at games, right? It's the community coming out to support, watch things, and be a part of that. Well, second year with the district, so we want to kind of get maybe a report card from the principal, right? So your first year here, good, bad, and ugly. How did your first year go? What did you love, or what did you think about your first year with the Rattlers?
It was wonderful. I think the students here, I fell in love with the students immediately. They're pretty amazing. We have great young men and young women here that offer a lot. They have a lot of gifts and talents, and they're pretty fun also.
Absolutely.
And our staff too. We have amazing educators here on our campus, and it has been one of the best jobs that I've ever had being here at Rattler Nation. Just the sense of pride and the sense of community, and really we're just primed to accomplish really great things and just continue some of the things that were started before I got here. But we're primed for really great things coming up ahead.
Well, we've talked a lot, Coach, about you tell your first year teachers, and I tell mine a lot of times, hey, the first day of your second year can be one of the best days of your life because you finally feel like you got it. Are you experiencing any of that? We're what, day 5 of your second year? Do you have a feel of? Talk to us a little bit about that feel of like coming back for this second year. Now you know where all the rooms are. Now you know who all the people are, and how does that change things for a new start to this year?
Well, I knew where all the rooms were. We moved a lot of the rooms because we reorganized so that kids could be together,
right,
instead of by department, and I think that's been pretty fantastic. This is actually my 13th year being a high school principal.
Nice.
And so, some things are very similar wherever you're at, the job of being a principal. But I think this first few days back, I can really see the fruits of the foundation that we laid last year, which was really bringing some clear structure and order, being very clear that all the adults are on the same team to help educate the students that we have. And I'll just tell you, the implementation of the new law, which is the cell phone policy, I think that's probably the place that I can see it the most. We have great kids who, when given clear expectations, rise to those expectations, right, and far exceed them. But something as simple as a cell phone policy, I say simple, but a lot of people thought, I don't know how you're going to do that in a high school.
Oh, yeah.
But it's been pretty amazing. I would say we're about 90 to 92% of our students are following the rule every single day. We've had a very small percentage of students that haven't, but I think that's related to us building such a strong start last year and having a culture that is really here centered on student outcomes and what's best for kids. And kids respond well when they know, right, that they're loved and that they are respected and that there's high expectations for them. They meet those expectations.
Right. So when we always have parents kind of, we all know, we've been here for a long time, but what are some things that are going on here at San Marcos High School that you think maybe are kind of hidden gems that you wish more people in the community realized, mm-hmm, are going on at San, mm-hmm, Marcos High School? Mm-hmm.
I would start with our CTE programs.
I would let you.
Right. If you have not been to the facilities, they're state of the art. It is amazing and just really awesome what we offer. The investment that this community has made into our school is phenomenal. I tell kids that on a pretty regular basis, like this community is invested in your education. And the facilities in CTE, I think, are kind of a highlight of that. We also have amazing, we're in a bond and reconstruction. Mm-hmm. Some of the areas that we are renovating are fine arts. I'm super excited about the new band pad that is now, yes, long overdue. But the spaces that they're going to be in, the updates that they're going to have, they deserve those spaces. And so I'm super excited that we're in the middle of that construction. Remind me maybe around January when they start inside the building. But I would say that the other thing is that we have great student leaders. So there's a lot of student organizations and student-led work happening on our campus that I think a lot of adults in our community don't know.
Right.
One of the things that's happening right now that is important to me is we have a care closet, but it's run by our students and they're organizing it. I don't know if you know, but we take donated prom dresses.
Right.
And it's a big deal coming up in prom season, but really making sure that kids have what they need and what they want in a way that preserves dignity and respect, but it's student run and student led, and to me that's a really big deal. It's students taking care of one another.
Right, and I think Coach Walsh, we've talked, it sounds like what she's hitting on there are things that we've talked a lot about, not only in CTE and athletics, but just for San Marcos High School and the district. And it's things, when I hear you out there cheerleading, and it's student leadership, opportunity, facilities, right? It's the same thing you're saying in the athletic world, correct?
She hit it right on the, on the nail on the head, is that we have tremendous students that are not afraid to lead, not afraid to put themselves out there, and that's contagious. When you have several students taking the lead on it, you see those groups grow. And
right.
I've seen it here since I've been here.
So, Dr. Guajardo, what maybe surprised you the most when you first arrived in San Marcos?
I think the school was built on a rattlesnake den, maybe. I'm used to it now, but I think last year in the very beginning there were in pretty quick succession, we found 3 rattlesnakes, and I was shocked by that, right? Because I thought, okay, well, I guess I know that's where we get our name from, but I didn't realize they were like
You know,
really,
we meant it literally.
Yeah, literally. They're in the building or around the building and stuff. But luckily, everybody knows how to respond when that happens.
Well, it's
We
so
had one
hard.
last Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. Well, it's so hard to warn about it, right? Beware of rattlers. That just looks like a pep rally sign. So, how's it been with Coach Walsh sitting here? You're in 13th year as a principal, so you've been a principal at other schools. How have you seen like the connection with the athletic program? Like today, of course, we're going to talk football today, but as you see this show all season long, we're going to talk all the sports, bring Dimeline here, bring the cheerleaders. But how have you seen that athletic connection to, and its importance in being a piece of the whole community?
Right. It is definitely an important piece, and what I love is there's alignment, right? So no matter what the program is, there is alignment between the adults and the programs that we have and that we offer to kids, all for the good of students. So another thing that I think, not surprising, but happy about when I got here is adults, whether it's a coach or it's a fine arts teacher, like a band instructor or somebody in student leadership, they share, right? And so making sure that kids have the opportunity to participate in everything, it takes adults who are willing to and can see that we're here for the good of students, not for the good of just my program. And I've definitely experienced that working with Coach Walsh. He's a great partner to work with, a great problem solver, and flexible, and just provides a lot of support, not just for the athletic programs, but for the student body as a whole and for our campus as a whole.
What's that opportunity piece you mentioned, right? Making sure that kids, we've talked about, they want to be in 50 things. We can't accommodate that, but we can accommodate more than one, which some schools kind of have that pigeonhole piece. And that's, I think we're always very proud of is, no, we're going to see if we can't get you into multiple things for sure. Right. Well, Dr. Guajardo, we appreciate you joining us to kind of get us kick-started here in Season 4 of RattlerUp. And we do this with the kids. You'll see this as the season goes on. Anytime the kids come in and represent their team, we give them a chance to do some shout-outs. And so as our first guest in Season 4, we want to do the same for you. So live on the RattlerUp Network, who would you like to send some shout-outs to?
I've got a couple, probably 3 really important shout-outs. The first one is to the admin team. There's a lot of work that administrators do that people do not know about, so a lot of unseen work, and so I really appreciate their dedication. And they're a fun group. I laugh every single day. The second group is our office personnel. It's the same thing. There's a lot going on that people have no idea that they manage and take care of. And then my last group, which is probably a little bit of an underappreciated group, but our hall monitors are stellar. We have amazing hall monitors who love and care for kids, but also maintain structure. And I really appreciate them. I think a lot of people have no idea what they do all day, but they really do help keep us safe. And they do a great job at building relationships with kids.
Yeah, they're not, that's what I love. They're not just doing their job. They're out there making sure to connect with kids and everything, too.
Yes.
Well, Dr. Guajardo, thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to have you on. We'll have you on again for sure. And we want you to continue to be a part of this broadcast. And like we said, we're excited to have you here.
Me too. I'm super excited to be a Rattler.
Well, speaking of a great year coming up, when we return from break, we're going to look ahead to the coming year and preview the entirety of the 2025 Rattler football season. This is going to be a good one, Coach. All of that and more when Rattler Up continues. Keep it here on the Rattler Up Network. Welcome back to the Rattler Up with Coach Walsh on the Rattler Up Network, our all-new digital communications YouTube channel. So if you're watching live or you're catching this later on, make sure you have found the Rattler Up Network. This is going to be the place to be every week for this show, as well as live broadcasts of baseball games, other sports games, fine arts events, and everything. And make sure to click that subscribe button. Let everybody know that this is the place to be. We want to get those shares and those subscribes out there. And so I always hear people doing that, and here I am. Click that subscribe button, right? I feel like I've come of age, maybe.
You sound like a salesman. You're good at it. You're good
All right.
at it.
Well, we're going to talk some upcoming sports, what's in season. But, hey, coming off that before the commercial break, Dr. Guajardo, finally getting her here on the show. Really excited. I asked her about working with you, but for you, having her here, getting to her second year, we said we were excited to have her. Why is that?
Yeah, and that's a great question. And I really think it's just what I want the community in the city of San Marcos to know is how lucky we are. And when you hire a principal, you want someone that has great leadership skills. And in an interview, they'll tell you all the right things, and then you got to find out what kind of leader they are. But what I think she's unique on is she has tunnel vision on on educating our kids, tunnel vision on that accountability rating going up. And there's no doubt in my mind she's going to get us to a B quick. But I've been in this for 32 years, and I'm pretty prideful on that. I've been in every situation you can be in as a leader, and think I have some leadership qualities. I don't need to learn from anybody, but I've learned from Dr. Guajardo. I mean, just being in a staff meeting and watch her model everything she tells us, and it's just really remarkable. She holds adults accountable, but she makes it a place you want to be at. And I speak for a lot of people. I don't talk to everybody on campus, but I know everybody's happy that she's here, and her leadership is felt, not just heard.
Well, and she shouted out her team.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I've been a member of that team years ago. I've seen multiple versions of that team over the years, and this is as good as it gets. I mean, she really has assembled a group that is driven in the right direction. I don't think I've ever seen a team in the same direction as this one, and that makes all the difference in the world.
No question. I circle those offices every day, and they're all on the same page. And when you're a leader, and you're a follower of a leader, you want to please that leader, and they work hard to please her.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to talk some football in a minute, but before we do that, we want to talk volleyball, and we're going to have the volleyball team here. We're going to have the coaches here. We're going to do our thing, but they are in season, so we want to kind of get a quick update. Tell us a little bit about where they are very, very early in that volleyball season.
Yeah, they're rocking and rolling already. They've been to tournaments. We got a home game tomorrow night, and district starts quicker than we do for sure. But we hired a new coach, Ryan Torres, straight out of college, which people think I'm crazy for hiring a coach out of college and with no experience. But she's unique in the fact that I got to watch her play. Nearly every home Texas State volleyball game because she played with Maggie. And when you're the setter at a Division I level, you're pretty much the coach on the field, on the court.
Right.
And just to watch her, lead those teams to conference championships, and there was no doubt who the boss was on the court. And everybody wanted to please Ryan on the court. And so when Megan left, we loved Megan, but she was going back closer to parents. And when she left, Ryan called immediately and said she was interested and posted the job, interviewed, and she was clear cut the one I wanted here. And she's hit it running for a young girl. She, it's easy to lead kids. She knows how to. She's coach club. she can lead, she can coach ball, she can lead kids, but as a young coach, can you lead adults? And she's been put in some, some pretty tough situations already, and done a remarkable job. I told her she's way ahead of the curve right now.
Nice. Well, that's gonna be exciting. So we're gonna be excited to have them on. We'll track them obviously here on Rattler Up. We'll have Ryan on. We'll get some players on, and we'll keep you updated. Just keep watching every week. This is the place to get all those updates. But right now, we want to go ahead and take a look at this upcoming Rattler football season. And so to look forward, we look back. So we look back to 2024 season in 29-6A, and it's something that I think that as I was looking up stuff, I had seen this before, but I don't think I guess I didn't put two and two together. And when it speak to the depth and strength of our district, all four teams that qualified for the playoffs last year, Steele, Canyon, East Central, and Johnson, all went 3 rounds deep, all went to the regional semis. One of them only lost to the eventual state champion. And so you've got 4 teams that did that. Again, it just speaks to the volume and depth in this district just up front, correct?
Yes, and there's two. It's a double-edged sword right there, because one, our district is talented. I mean, if you go, I've coached now for 5 years here against Steele and Judson. East Central is a growing district, getting lots of move-ins out there, shirts, and anyway, they're talented and they're loaded. But once you get in the playoffs down here in Region 4, the heavy center of talent is sitting between San Antonio and Austin,
Right?
And you get to go south. And nothing against South, but they don't have the athletes that hover up here.
Well, we've talked about you see sometimes more competitive games in district
no question.
than in the first couple of rounds, just based on the depth of that district, correct?
Yeah, so if you survive this district and you get in the playoffs, what I call the tournament, you got a chance to be sitting there in round 3 and in the regional finals with a shot to get some momentum going at the right time.
Right. Well, let's take a look at some of them. We'll go ahead and start with those returning district champions, the Steel Knights. Max Preps has them 19. Dave Campbell's got them 20. They're returning 34 lettermen, so the team that has won 5 straight district titles brings a lot back. They got a running back committed to A&M, an O-lineman committed to UTEP. So when you approach Steel, you know what you're getting. You're getting a 5-time district champion. You're getting a ranked team. But what do you see when you say, hey, we got that? Obviously, I would assume probably the toughest test in the district. You would imagine, right?
Yeah, they've proven that the district championship goes through them. You listed the highlight that their running back is their bell cow, and Coach Sines does a great job. They're well coached, always are, and we surely expect that game late in the year to be for the district championship.
Right. Now, next up, and I'm just kind of going in order of what Max Preps and Texas High School football, but they've got Canyon. No one really predicting, but just kind of based on rankings. Canyon is kind of predicted there in that second spot, returning 24 lettermen, 6 on offense, 6 in defense. They got a corner that's signing at Texas Tech. And so obviously we've seen them a lot because that's a team that we've played even when they're not in our district. It's a nice little local game, so we've got a lot of experience playing them. What are the eyes that we have on Canyon so far?
Yeah, another team that when you're looking up Dave Campbell and that's a solid outlet to get the rankings, is they go off how many kids are getting recruited, who's committed to where, and if the more college recruits, you should be a better football team, right?
Yeah.
So Canyon has those guys. They have some top end talent. And another well-coached team just real close to us.
Right. Now, the East Central Hornets, they've got a lot of new faces on their team. Is kind of the scouting report that they're showing. They've got 2 returning receivers to watch. They're really fast. I think that they're traditionally fast. It seems like that's another school that we've played across multiple district layouts. And so do you see anything different as you plan for East Central?
No, you're right. They're a track meet on the field. And Coach Hubbard, he's the right coach for him. He was up in the area. He was at Garland when I was up north in DFW, and they had fast cats up there too. And he knows how to utilize them and give them the ball. And Joe's a good coach.
Awesome. Now from there, then you got Johnson was the other. They made their first playoff appearance. Obviously a newer school district now. They're returning 30 themselves. So again, you don't end up having that history when you play Johnson.
Right.
But what has that been? Again, for a first playoff run, they go 3 deep right off the bat.
Yeah. So my familiarity with them is their head coach. He coached at San Antonio Brennan when we faced them in a title game, and we just got a lot of same network of guys. And they play a brand of football that I like. They play physical football up front. We talk about East Central. They're flying all around, throwing the ball up. Buda like to get dirty in the trenches, and
right.
that's our kind of football.
Now, the three that didn't make it in, ourselves, Judson, and Clemens. Judson, they kind of the same thing. They're kind of going to be that ground and pound, correct? They're bringing, and they were close. They lost a 38-36 game to Johnson that would have put them in that fourth slot, right? So they were knocking on the door. But talk to us a little bit about facing the Rockets.
Yeah, I think they had their chance last year. They needed to. They had enough talent to get in, and that game was the pivotal game to get in. So I haven't paid too much mind to the Judson Rockets. So I'm right here on Hutto right now, and I don't like speaking about them anyways.
Right, and we won't much more. And so then Clemens, again, had a tough year last year, but they do have a receiver with a UTSA commitment. Texas high school football talks about a little bit inexperience, kind of heavy on the defense. So Clemens is one that, again, a lot of times that's one of those you circle on a schedule, am I right, that don't take them for granted.
Yeah.
The numbers may not put you in fear like a Steele does, but they're going to come and play ball. You got
those trap games.
Right,
you got to be careful. And then they've had a coaching change because the coach they had there was for a long. They had since when I got here was there for a long time, and they were always a chore now. So they're still trying to find their way with the new coaching staff.
Right, and so then that leaves us with the Rattlers. And the interesting thing that I found as I was looking into, whether it was Max Preps, Dave Campbell, wherever you look, most all of them almost had a disclaimer saying, like you said, we're looking at recruits, we're looking at numbers, they're trying to crunch data, do the best they can to predict a very difficult to predict game. But they said, we don't know.
Right.
And they all say, we just don't know what San Marcos is going to be. Right, and I've got to wonder if that doesn't work well for us. Don't we just love the idea that no one knows what's coming?
Yeah, I did an interview today with Dave Campbell, another podcast, and they're trying to like, hey, we think you can do this and that and this, and we're at the bottom. I want to stay at the bottom. I want to work our way up. There's 123 teams in 6A. Put us 123. Let us work our way up,
right,
and earn the respect. We're going to be a good football team, but let us earn it.
Right. So you look at those stars that get listed, and obviously this team is deep. There's a lot of stars that we'll cover as the year goes on, but the ones that the magazines tend to go, of course, right off the bat, quarterback Buck Stain, 3-star receiver Henry Harris. Talk to us a little bit about that quarterback-receiver combo.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about the scrimmage here in a minute, but they've been playing together for a long time. Since they were in the 8th grade and 7th grade. So they got that connection and that relationship, but they've grown into grown men right now. They're both 6'4", and they're going to be a fun duo to watch as we move forward because Hank's just got that length that you can just throw it up, and
go get it.
He's probably going to come down with it.
Right. And then Buck's going to have time to throw. He's got a 6'7", 285-pound tackle in Nick Henry. He's got a 6'4", 275 guard in Shavian Anderson. So talk about that O-line and giving Buck time to find Henry.
Yeah, just make sure you come back to the scrimmage here in a minute because I want to talk about them at the scrimmage. But yes, you're right. We averaged 275 up front.
Wow. And
forever in my career, the O-line is the most important. Everybody says the quarterback, but for me, it's the offensive line because they control so much. One, they protect the quarterback, right? So if we're going to throw the ball, they're the reason he gets to throw the ball. But when it comes to the running game, it's not just the running game that's successful. You're resting the defense.
Right.
And they just control all of it. They can guys like Isaiah and Diggy over there can just sit and rest and watch some football while the O-line is controlling the whole ball game.
Right. And so speaking of them, you talk about commitments, right? Linebackers, SMU commit, Isaiah Young, Texas State commit, Darius Davis. You talk a little bit about once they get their rest and they get on that field, what they can do.
Yeah, they're just explosive. I've been saying this since I've met Isaiah. And I've coached, I think I'm over 90 now of guys who have signed Division I football scholarships. And Isaiah is absolutely the most explosive kid I've ever coached, meaning he can take one step and knock your helmet off. And it's almost dangerous. He got so many penalties last year for legal hits, but it was so violent, they just throw the flag thinking something had to be wrong. Yeah, something had to be wrong.
Yeah.
So I actually have to have pregame talks with the officials. Hey, number 8 is going to hit these kids really hard. Doesn't mean it's illegal. Anyway, and Darius, he's our quarterback. Diggy, we call him Diggy. He's the quarterback on the defense. He gets everybody lined up the right way. He's very intelligent. He's like a DC out there. And those two guys lead. Definitely, we have a lot more guys on defense that are that are explosive and good football players, but they're our leaders.
Yeah, and I know that I've been doing this with you now for a number of years. So, and you've already mentioned it. I know that the one and only thing on your mind right now is the Hutto Hippos.
Right.
But if I were to get you to step out for just a quick moment, what are some of the things that you are excited about for the year as a whole?
All right, so if my players are watching, I know we talk about here and now, but we're allowed to talk. I'm allowed to talk future, right?
And you see it on the screen right there. There it is. That's the path to the tournament, right?
Yeah, again, take it game by game, but 2 years ago when we scheduled that non-conference, Pflugerville Weiss has a lot of Division I football players. Hutto has 4 Division I football players we face this week, and then you throw in Lake Travis. Those were scheduled for a reason. Those were scheduled for this year. We know we're going to be good. We're supposed to be good. The expectations out there, but I wanted competition. I wanted challenges. I've never been 10-0. Don't care to be 10-0. I want to win every game every Friday night, but I want our kids to learn how to handle failure, how to handle adversity, and we can't win it all if they're not exposed to that. And
because ultimately you want to be 6-0 in the tournament.
6-0. That's it.
That's what you want to be.
That's
right?
all you want to be.
Right. Well, we're excited. We're going to talk specifically after the break about the scrimmage that happened this past Friday, and we'll talk Hutto. But Coach, big time season coming up, and we're excited. And you got to be out there this Friday night, your first opportunity. The schedule was up there. Catch it online and be at Rattler Stadium. One thing that I know that I've seen from these last couple of years, and just the team that's coming up now, it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be a fun time on Friday nights at Toyota Rattler Stadium, so you got to be there. We'll talk about it here on Rattler Up, and we'll do more of that when we come back from break. When we get back, we'll talk about this past Friday night where we took on United South in our first scrimmage of the year, and then we'll preview this Friday night's game against the Hutto Hippos. All that and more. Keep it here on the Rattler Up Network. Welcome back to Rattler Up with Coach Walsh, starting season 4. And so we're excited to be here in the Rattler broadcast studios with the plural S now, we get to say, Coach. We got the broadcast studio, the podcast studio. So lots of great things happening, not only on campus, but out on the athletic field. And the super exciting thing that happened was this past Friday night, you finally get game time. Right. I don't care how many two-a-days you do. I don't care how much practice happens. We get to put the helmets and pads on and go up against another team that does not want us to do well. And that happened in Jourdanton, Texas, this last Friday night against United South. So let's start on the offensive side of the ball. Talk to us about, obviously you get a first half where your starters are playing most of that time. You try to get everybody on the field so that you can see this is a diagnosis game. Am I right? This is where you're really seeing if things are clicking the way you think they've been clicking. What'd you see on the offensive side of the ball?
So that's how we handled it. We played it game-like, 4 quarters, 12-minute regulation clock, and we were playing the starters the first half. And then the most important half for me was the second half, just to see the young sophomores and juniors that haven't played varsity yet, where they fit in and where they can help us. So the positive side was the first half when the ones were in, we scored every series except for one.
Nice.
And it was just that we hurt ourselves in that drive. And then they only got 1 first down with our one. So it was a very positive scrimmage with the ones. A lot of big plays. Like you said, it was going to be exciting football. There was some exciting football. But there were, as a coach, this early, just because you scored 6 times and you're high-fiving and celebrating, the mamas are cheering and everybody's excited, you have to dive into that film and really, really watch what took place. And we talked about the O-line earlier, and they average 275. They're talented. They're smart. They're strong. They will be the core of our football team, especially offensively. But they didn't have a very good morning this morning with me. We had meetings this morning at 6:30. They just weren't. They didn't start the season like I wanted them to. Instead of coming off and knocking chin straps off, they looked like they were trying to cuddle the D line. They looked like they were just there to. We're going to get in the way. Let you guys behind us make the plays. And I wasn't nice this morning. I was a little nicer before I came to the podcast, but still not nice.
Right. So I would imagine there are some Hutto hippos on the defensive line that might pay for Monday morning. Am I right?
That was the plan.
That's the list. So we've got some highlights from the scrimmage on the offensive side of the ball, and we'll kind of take a look at some of these, and you can kind of tell us what we're seeing here.
We're close to the goal line. This is one of the ones that made me mad. I'm not sure if this is it or not. Surely we score here if it's a highlight.
We got them all in, right?
Yeah, that's Justin Tart. No, that may be Donovan Garcia. Yes, if that's a highlight out, I don't know who put this film together. That's not a very good highlight. Did Coach Vallejo send these in? I'll be dang. All right, now this is not a very good clip. Oh. Hank's out. That's Buck to Hank.
Right. Like you said, go up, let him get it.
He just throw it up. Sometimes he just needs one hand to go get it.
Now, in a scrimmage like this, do you notice the quarterback in the purple? Are you limiting quarterback shots in a scrimmage?
Yeah, we didn't let him get touched at all.
Right.
We're going to come out of this thing as healthy as we can at that position. And I think we're here, and we talk about Hank, but the guy fixing to catch this touchdown is Jordan Lampkin. And he was a sophomore last year. It was a really good player for us, and he'll be a Division I football player as well.
Nice.
And to have him and Hank on either side is pretty special. Pretty special.
All right, so we got more field to play with here.
And I think we're going back up to Hank up top.
Looking to see where we're headed. Is this Buck still in there?
Yeah, it is still first. Yeah, he's just throwing it up again. I think it's a third down, and
yeah, same thing.
We weren't having a very good series, and Hank walked over to me, just throw it up. So all right, just throw it up.
Well, you saw there, I mean, two defenders on him, but goes up and gets it, right?
Absolutely.
So I think that's a little taste of some of that excitement we're going to see on the offensive side of the ball. But defense is going to be fun too. So talk to us a little bit about defense Friday night. Here's some of the highlights.
They flew around all night long. And we talked about Isaiah and we talked about Diggy, but we got a guy named Trey Walker. We call him Red. And he's on one side, and we have Isaiah on the other side rushing the passer.
And there's
that's
your pick.
An interception by, I'm not sure who that is right now. I forgot who picked that off, but I'll just say this. Hank will be on defense too.
Oh, okay.
And we got a corner named Javion Rose. So on the defensive side, if you can man up on the edge, we talked about the Cowboys documentary with Dion, how these two guys, we can man up and play football. But what I like about that clip right there is you see a lot of hats to the ball right there.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're moving quick. Like you said, the speed on the defense is noticeable even just in a couple of highlights here. Quarterback had to get rid of it there quickly.
Yeah,
no one to go to.
That was Trey Walker and Isaiah on him right there. I don't think he got up from that play. You know, we're going to be a stop-the-run first defense and really count on that secondary. That's Lampkin right there.
Yeah. Almost didn't even get the catch made because
No.
he was bearing down on him. So super exciting when, like I said, a diagnosis game, right? And so you went in, you make the adjustments. You got on that offensive line. I imagine they're going to be fired up Friday night. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, they're probably not happy tonight.
Yeah, and so that's the Friday night is now the key, right? Like you said, you got the Hutto Hippos, total focus. So we kind of take a look at Hutto. That is this Friday night. Rattlers taking on in the home opener, Toyota Rattler Stadium, 7:30 kickoff, and that is where you got to be. So you got to be there 7:30, be there for the game live. So we'll take a look at Hutto Hippos. Max Prep has them number 80 in 6A for what it's worth. They got 32 lettermen coming back, 6 on offense, 7 on defense. Now they just missed the playoffs last year, and there's the eventual state champion Vandergrift is in their district. So also coming out of a stout district. Now 2 of their district losses were just by a touchdown. So they were kind of a bubble team that just one play here, one play there. They're probably in the tournament last year. And the big news for them is new head coach Eli Reinhardt coming from North Crowley as offensive coordinator at North Crowley, took them to the state title. And now this is his chance to head coach. I didn't catch this, but I think first-time head coaching, correct?
He's the first-time head coach, but as an OC at North Crowley, they were the most prolific offense in the state of Texas.
Right.
He put up great numbers. He's got a great imagination on on the offensive side of the ball, and he makes you work on the defense, just lining up right first, and then he hits all the spots on the football field. So he's a great OC. And I bet he's going to end up being a great head coach.
Awesome. So we'll get a chance. This will be, I think this is their first game as well. Right. So this will be a fun one. If you haven't been out to Rattler Stadium, where you're just excited to get the season started, this is going to be a fun one to get started with. And I think this is one of those that for both Hutto and us, it's really going to set the stage for where are we. I think it's going to tell us a lot. We talked about all the magazines, all the newspapers kind of seem to not really know where San Marcos is, and we like it that way. I think after Friday night, they're going to have a lot better understanding, right?
Well, we sure hope so. Hutto's going to present some issues. We talked about Hank. We talked about Lampkin. They got their Hank and Lampkin. They got a kid that's been offered to OU at the receiver spot. He's got a brother. I think he's a freshman, about 6'4", that starts in both scrimmages, can play. Running back going to Tulsa. Mm-hmm. Offensive tackle offered to everybody.
Right.
So they're good where we're good. So I'm excited about, maybe we don't just throw it up to Hank, and it's going to be contested. He's not going to be jumping over somebody. There's going to be somebody jumping with him to make that bet.
Right.
That play.
Well, like I said, their quarterback threw for over 2,000 last year, 21 touchdowns. Caden Stefik, that returning running back you mentioned, Kaylon Chavies, 789 yards rushing, 7 touchdowns. They got Jaden Fields out there as a receiver, over 800 yards receiving. All those guys are coming back. And it's interesting what you said, that they play football the way you play football. How does that line up when you play that mirror image? I mean, there's pros and cons to that. Walk us through the good and the bad of playing somebody that plays your style of football.
Yeah, if you were asking me that question in round 1 of the playoffs, I'd probably be a little more concerned. But playing it right now I'm wanting to see it. Like, we're going to play to win this football game. I'm going to coach to outscore, the Hutto Hippos. But as a head coach with this football team, I know how good we can be come tournament time. I'm really excited that they match us. They got some boys up front. They got some guys on the edge. Because again, they're on the schedule to challenge our boys and make us better. I could have scheduled somebody not as good. We win by 40. We're all high-fiving, but that's not what this team needs. This team needs to be – they need to see a mirror image on the other side.
Right. And we've talked about that again. We're in season 4, and we've talked about that for 4 seasons, that's an expectation across all sports. I think we've talked – Brian Webb has been doing that since the time it began, right? I mean, he'll have a pre-district schedule that is just an absolute barn burner of a schedule. May not even come out 500 ball on the other end of it. Dan arrived, and his basketball team – you start fans not realizing the setup are almost worried pre-district because, God, we're not winning ball games. Right. And then when you get to district and everything you learn from all those pre-district games click, it's on. And I think that's exactly that mentality that's been paying off in a lot of sports.
Some head coaches missed it. They missed it on that one thing. They're looking for those wins in the regular season. And they don't prepare their team for the playoffs, and they don't ever make runs.
Well, and do you have to then prepare the team for the strategy, right? Because that strategy might come with some losses, right? And then you can't let them think, well, we lost, we're not good. We lost, we're not as good as we thought we were. Letting them understand, or even like you said, I'm coaching to win, but I'm coaching for the district games. Right. So there may be you may play, if we faced Hutto in round 3 of the playoffs, it would be a completely different playbook, potentially different mindset from game 1 of the regular season. Again, not that you're not coaching to win, but you're coaching to win district games to get into the tournament. So you have to kind of walk the kids through this process and understand how it's being done, right?
Yeah, 2 things there. We have colored that picture for a long time with them. Why, for 2 years, why this schedule is set up like it is, for everything you're saying. And then just the flip side of it is, from the playoff standpoint, there's going to be those challenges ahead of you. And if you don't present them early on, the first time could be the one time you lose.
Right. Well, we're excited. So Friday night's the time to be there, 7:30, Toyota Rattler Stadium. The Rattlers taking on the Hutto Hippos. And, Coach, that's going to bring us to the close of Episode 1, Season 4, Rattler Up. We're in the podcast studios. I think the biggest and most exciting change is the lighting that allows the air conditioner to hit us.
The very first thing I noticed was it's cool in here.
It is not hot in here, and we love it. Well, we're going to take a minute before we leave and look at all the upcoming chances to catch Rattlers in action this week. I mean, we're only 5 days into school, and we've already got a full lineup of places to go and things to see, kids. Tuesday night, varsity tennis is at Samuel Clemens High School. That starts at 4:30, and volleyball at home in the Snake Pit against Austin Eastside. Varsity gets started at 7:30 on Tuesday. Then on Thursday, the JV tennis have their chance out at Samuel Clemens at 4:30. You got freshman football, both teams at Rattler Stadium against Hutto, 5 and 6:30, and JV football heading out to Hutto. Quick preview, that JV team. What are we expected from them heading out to Hutto Thursday night?
There's a lot of guys. Well, look right over here, behind the scenes over here is the JV quarterback. And so
he's pushing buttons behind cameras.
He's
and
making
helping
this thing
make this happen.
Yeah, so Creek Ennis is over there, and I was really pleased watching them. They scrimmaged right before us, and what I liked about them is they fly around. They fly around and don't mind putting their helmet on a face mask, and they got a cue that can lead them. So I'm interested. I won't be out there, but I'm looking forward to hear what they do.
Awesome. Well, then Friday night, volleyball, 2 opportunities to catch them this week in the Snake Pit. They've got Marble Falls at 6:30 for the varsity, and then the varsity home opener against the Hutto Hippos at 7:30 at Toyota Rattler Stadium. And a special note for that, the Gear Up tailgate party. We're excited about this one, Coach. Gear Up having a tailgate party before the game. It starts at 5 o'clock. It's behind the scoreboard.
Yep.
Fans need to get there early to be a part of this, correct?
Yeah, it started out with Juan and Villapando, and the Gear Up crew. Monica came and said they had this idea, and it turned into about 7 corporate sponsors out there. And there's going to be a lot of food, a lot of people, and we're going to drive up. We're going to walk it because they're starting about 5, so when we take that walk about 5:45. It's going to resemble a little college football game out there. I'm excited.
That's the whole idea, right? To have the crowd out there, and you get those Gear Up folks on things, and they blow up quick in a great way. Great staff, great supporters of students in Rattler athletics. So be out there at 5 o'clock behind the scoreboard. Just make a day of it. Come on out. We've done this before. Coach Walsh will send a note to your boss to excuse you from work about 4 o'clock. Let you have some time to get home, you change, come on out, and be a part of it. And then at the very least, make sure you're here 7:30 kickoff time. And Coach, it's also Little Rattler Night, and tell us a little bit about why Little Rattler Night is always such a good thing for us here.
Earl Anderson is our Booster Club president, and he's so connected to the community and so connected to CFPO. He's already sent me the itinerary. I got it with David Underwood for the run of show. There's just going to be a lot of future Rattlers out here to watch. Just to watch, and I love it because hopefully Friday night, you talked about it being exciting and electric. They get to see that and they get hooked.
Right.
And then they come back and then bring their parents with them, and we keep those stands full.
Well, and that's the thing, that Friday Night Lights experience, we've talked about it, not unique in football games in the state of Texas, but I think San Marcos does it as well as anybody. Literally hundreds and hundreds of students involved in making a Friday Night Lights truly happen, from the football players to the cheerleaders to the dance team to the marching band to the kids running the cameras to the kids putting stuff on the Jumbotron to the ROTC running the flags and presenting the colors. And then on this Friday night, all the little Rattlers coming out. It's an easy thing to get hooked on.
Oh, there's no doubt. Sure. And one of my goals this year is Dr. Guajardo. We have the diamond line on the left, the band diamond line, where she moved the student section to start right there. So they're all going to be in one section. But I want that thing to go straight across the whole stadium. And it'll start out about quarter of the way. And then hopefully by the show's good enough that we start filling that thing up all the way across.
That'll be fantastic. It'll be cool. Well, Coach, before we let you go, college football season, it officially started this past weekend, but it kind of really starts this weekend. So how much film and how much work does your staff have to do on Saturday morning after Hutto before they finally get to go home and watch some college football?
So we go home at 12, shut down. But they're expected to work while they're watching college football.
Right. Texas game will be on.
Yeah, one of my favorite setups. I cannot wait to get home. If Maggie's not playing, is I have about 2 laptops, got notebooks everywhere, and the big screen's got, I don't know if it's Texas, it'd be Oklahoma State probably, but there'll be college football on. And we work all day long, eat wings. Well,
the game that most are talking about, of course, Texas-Ohio State, 11 o'clock kickoff. Ohio State, the 2.5-point favorite. Who you got in Texas-Ohio State?
Well, I just mentioned I'm not a Texas fan, but I am a Sarkisian fan.
Right.
And, man, I'm pulling for Arch. I like how he handles himself in the interviews. He sounds like Peyton and Eli.
Right.
I was a big fan of those guys, so I'll be pulling for them.
Well, I think it's like you said, the Hutto game is the real, hey, what are we really about? It sounds like this game is Archie Manning able to deliver on everything everybody says he can deliver on. And I think that you've said for a couple of years now, you believe he can.
I think he can.
And then, of course, then there's Cowboys. Start next week. It's almost like I just have to at this point because for 4 seasons we've talked about the Cowboys. It's kind of a bummer way of ending an episode, but people expect it now. So regular season starts.
Changed. Everything about you changed.
The Cowboys. They start against Philly on Thursday night. May or may not have all their teams signed at that point. Coach, the bottom line is Cowboys make the playoffs.
No, probably not. Probably not.
All right.
We hope they do, but probably not.
Right. So
Let's be
just
real.
as long as you can temper your
real.
expectations as a Cowboys
I
fan.
messed up and I watched that whole Netflix Cowboys documentary and I watched the good old days. So that's really got me tempered.
Yeah, if I don't watch it now, if I watch it mid-season, I think it'll just make me more angry. So
Yeah,
I need
no
to get that
question.
watched pretty quickly. Well, that'll do it for this week. We thank you for watching here on the Rattler Up Network. We're so excited. Brand new Rattler Up Network. Click, if you're watching this right now, whether it's live or archive, click that subscribe button. Follow us. Make sure that you let folks know that this is the place to be every week for Rattler Up the show, as well as live broadcasts of sports, fine arts, concerts, award ceremonies. If it's in the Rattler Nation, it's going to be on Rattler Up Network, and we're excited about that. Thanks to Jack and Josh, our teachers that bring the kids in and organize everything. And thanks to those kids. We walked in here, Coach, before the show today, and there was kids building tables. There was kids putting tools up, cameras being built, graphics being designed, and it's an exciting thing to see kids be able to do all of this. So we'll be back next week for another Rattler Up. So until then, for Coach Walsh, I'm CJ Odam. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.